Have you ever felt like you are being hunted? Not by a person, and not by an animal, but by a shadow. A shadow that follows you into your sleep, whispers in your ear when you wake up, and tells you that you aren't ready, that you aren't strong enough, and that the best thing you can do is run. Most people spend their entire lives running. They run from difficult conversations, they run from their past, and they run from their dreams because they are afraid to fail. But here is the secret the world never tells you. Fear is a ghost that grows fat on your cowardice. The more you run, the bigger the shadow becomes. Today, we journey into the heart of the whispering woods to meet a small creature who learned a lesson that most humans never discover. This is the story of Pip, a squirrel who realized that the only way to kill a monster is to look it in the eye. Pip was not an ordinary squirrel. While the others played in the sun and leaped between the high branches of the great oak, Pip lived in the gray zone. He was the fastest runner in the forest, but not because he was athletic. He was fast because he was terrified. Every rustle of a leaf was a predator. Every shadow of a cloud was an eagle. Pip's life was a series of what-ifs. What if the winter is too cold? What if the nuts run out? What if I fall? Pip lived by one rule: if it looks scary, run away. But there was one specific fear that Pip couldn't shake. Deep in the eastern part of the forest stood the Hollow Root, a dark, twisted cave formed by the roots of a dying tree. Legends said a beast lived there. Pip had never seen the beast, but in his mind, it was 40 feet tall with teeth like daggers. Because Pip was so afraid of the eastern forest, he stayed in a small, cramped corner of the west. The nuts there were bitter, the water was muddy, and the space was crowded. But Pip told himself, "At least I'm safe." Moral monologue. Aren't we all like Pip? We stay in jobs we hate, in relationships that drain us, and in habits that destroy us simply because we are too afraid of the hollow root of our lives. We settle for bitter nuts because we are terrified of the shadow in the east. Disaster doesn't ask for permission. A storm hit the whispering woods that was unlike any other. The West Forest, Pip's safe haven, was low ground. Within hours, the burrows were flooded. Pip watched as his entire life's work, his tiny pile of bitter nuts, was swept away by the cold, rising water. He climbed the highest branch he could find, shivering, his fur matted with rain. He looked toward the east. The eastern forest was high, dry, and filled with ancient trees that the water couldn't reach. But to get there, he had to pass the hollow root. He had to face the beast. As the branch beneath him began to crack under the weight of the wind, Pip had two choices: drown in the safety of the west, or risk everything in the shadows of the east. Narrator deep voice. Fear often gives us an illusion of safety. It tells us, stay here and die slowly. It's better than going there and dying quickly. But Pip looked at the black water below and realized, I am already dying. I have been dead for years. With his heart pounding like a drum against his ribs, Pip reached the mouth of the hollow root. The air was cold. The smell of decay was thick. And then he saw it. A massive, dark shape with glowing eyes moved within the darkness. It roared a sound that shook the very earth. Pip turned to run. His instinct took over. Run, Pip. Run and never look back. But as he turned, he tripped. He fell into the mud, exhausted, his strength gone. He looked back at the shadow. It was coming closer. Pip closed his eyes. He waited for the teeth. He waited for the end. But then he remembered the words of an old owl he once met. Fear is a wall of fog. It looks like a mountain until you walk through it. Pip stood up. He didn't run. He didn't scream. He planted his tiny paws in the mud, bared his teeth, and did the bravest thing a small creature can do. He stepped toward the shadow. Come on then, Pip squeaked, his voice trembling but defiant. Eat me, but I will not run anymore. Pip stopped. He blinked. There was no beast. There were no fangs. There was only wood, wind, and stone. The roar was just the wind whistling through the hollow branches. The shadow was only a trick of the moonlight against the mist. Pip began to laugh. He laughed until tears rolled down his furry cheeks. He had spent his entire life years of anxiety, years of hunger, years of hiding running from a pile of sticks. He walked past the hollow root and entered the eastern forest. It was paradise. The nuts were large and sweet. The sun was warm. The trees were strong. Pip realized that the only thing that had kept him from this heaven was a ghost he had invited into his own mind. How many hollow roots are in your life right now? You are avoiding that phone call. You are avoiding that doctor's visit. You are avoiding starting that business because you think there is a monster waiting for you in the shadows. But listen to me. The pain of facing your fear lasts for a minute. The pain of running from your fear lasts a lifetime. Your problems are like shadows. When you turn and run, they follow you, growing larger the further you go. But the moment you stop, turn around, and walk toward them, they vanish. Because a shadow cannot exist where there is light, and your courage is the brightest light you possess. Stop settling for the bitter nuts of the West. The eastern forest is waiting for you. But to get there, you must stop running. You must dare to be brave. Subscribe to the Inspire Tales. Let's face the shadows together. Stay inspired.